you do. And I want to compliment you on the significant things that you as a board has accomplished and done during your tenure here. And I read everything I see in the paper. I don't keep up with everything like I should, I know, but it's good to be here. I read last night where you were having something to do with Parthenon Boulevard, and I had a big part in that when we were trying to get the road through. And I just wanted to be sure that we knew what we were looking at, because we made a certain agreement with Parthenon Metals, and I just wanted to be sure that they'd go along with it, or that they were contacted. And I talked to the president last night or this morning one, and he didn't think it would be any problem maybe, but he wanted to talk with some of the others, and he had left the word. I think he said he'd put in a call for Mayor Mosley and hadn't heard her at that time. And I had a call on my telephone that he had tried to call me this afternoon, but it was too late to get back in touch with him. So anyway, I just wanted to be sure that they were treated fairly. They were nice to us. We were trying to get the roads. I know I don't have but 3 minutes, so I won't go too far, but it's not too hard to change the name of a road. When my family moved here the first day of 1940, we lived on Rock Springs Road, and we lived there where Bridgestone is now, and that was called Rock Springs Road. I doubt if many of you even know that was Rock Springs Road as late as the 40s.
I didn't know that.
And but Vesta's father, Emmett Waldron Sr., was the magistrate for the county. The only representative we had anywhere in government was our local magistrate, and he had it named Waldron Road, and there was no conflict, no question about it. I don't know today why the name was changed, but anyway, that can be done, and I hope if there's a change made in this, if there is, that it can be done in an amicable, good fellowship way. But I went to them, and they did say this. Well, I can't go back to all the history of what we did, but we had to get a right of way from Parthenon Metals and Bill Bonds, who was an individual, and we thought Parthenon probably would be easier to get along with. And their attorney and our attorney met, and we could not get anything accomplished through their attorney. He wanted to get every penny he could get for his client, of course. That's a normal thing for a lawyer to do. And we had no money. We had just completed the building of this auditorium, and we had no money. And the Department of Transportation, DDOC, had said that they did have a grant available if we would pay for half of it. But we didn't have half of it. So the co-op is giving all the land on the other side of the railroad track, which is a very generous thing on their part. Of course, it had to be where they would like to have their land divided. But anyway, we saw two places, and that was Parthenon Metals and Bill Bonds, that we need to get a right-of-way from. Well, and like I said, we couldn't get anywhere with the attorney, and we met with the attorney, and he told us his opinion about things, and we all shook our heads and said, no, there's no way we can do it. So the five of us agreed that we'd have to just forget about it. There's no way, we don't have the money. And so we all walked out, and nothing was said about it for a good while. But I could not get over Laverne not having a good access to the interstate. When we became a city, they had just finished the interstate not long before. Had a sign up said at the exit, Laverne, Tennessee. Waldron Road did not have Laverne on it. So as vice mayor, I just took it on myself to call the Department of Transportation and ask them if they would put Laverne on that. They said, yes, they did. But what did we have to offer at the end of that exit? Underpass that today none of our trucks can go under it. What kind of a road was it at that time? It was just a pitch and chip road, narrow with curves in it, and the underpass to go through, of course. No way to attract traffic and building and commerce through circumstances like that. So that's why we decided to try to do something about it. And so anyway, we couldn't get anywhere with the lawyer, so I went to Bill Bonds myself. I knew him and had eaten in his family's home and then in our home, and I knew him through church. And I thought, well, I'll just go personally and talk to him. And we sat down and talked for a few minutes, and he talked about the family relationship. And it shocked me when he said, "I tell you what I'll do." He said, "Because of our family relationship, Laverne doesn't mean that much to me. I live in Davidson County. But because of our family relationship, I'll give it to you. Except I do want you to give me an entrance off of I-41. I said, "You've already got that. You've got a farmer's gate right here. That'll be your entrance." And it's the entrance today to Walgreens. So that was no problem at all. I went out of there ecstatic. I just could not believe it, that we were going to get it for nothing. We'd already got the co-op for nothing. Now, I went straight to Parthenon Metals, and I knew they had 3 men who were partners. I knew one of them from the Rotary Club. He was in our Rotary Club, really a fine gentleman. I talked to him about it. He said, "I'll get with the other 2 partners. I'll get back with you." He called me back in a few days, and he said, "Come to my office and I'll talk to you." And he said, "We'll give it under 2 circumstances. One is if you give us, I think it was a bigger water meter. It had something to do with our water, a bigger water meter, water line or something." I said, "That's no problem. We can do that with our own crew." And he said, "The other thing is if you name it Parthenon Boulevard." And I said, "Well, it's a new road, and I don't think there'd be any problem if we can get to the interstate by naming that Parthenon Metals." And so it was understood we would do that. I brought it back to the city council, and Bruce says there's no record on our minutes about it, but anyway, I brought it to the city council, and of course everybody was for it. Even though we were talking about Waldron Road and Vestivals and Waldron, he went along with it too. So anyway, that's the history of it. And I just want to be sure that Parthenon Metals were taken care of, that they were introduced to all the things behind it and whys, and I can understand how it could be beneficial in some ways, but I'd like for us to realize we do have a commitment to Parthenon Metals because they were so generous to us when we were trying so hard to get Laverne on the map. And I appreciate you all listening to me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We have no one else on the Citizens Forum, so if you'll bear with us for about 5 minutes, we will begin the actual meeting. Citizens Forum is closed.